Hi, my name is Kevin, and I collect old irons. I am interested in the history of old irons, the manufacturers, the inventors, and so forth. But for some of these irons, there is a subsequent history. They got painted. I am speaking here a bit out of my comfort zone. The title here is Tole and Other Painted Irons. My interest is in irons during their manufacture and use in ironing, but various of these irons had subsequent histories used as folk art. I have only 3 painted irons in my collection, but have photos from 2 substantial collections. One collector being J. Raymond in New Jersey and the other Robert Wendland in Michigan. So here goes. A term commonly given to these irons is Tole painted. This is a folk art style, here applied to a German box from the Black Forest region. Tole painting commonly depicts stylized leaves and flowers, or hearts, or other features. These have a long history going back centuries in Europe, especially among the Norwegians, Danish, Swedes, and Northern Germans, where this was commonly referred to as toleware. The paint may also have been applied to kitchen utensils and furniture that were in use, though more often, particularly in the United States, the painting was done on already old objects, such as milk cans or coffee pots, as here from the American Folk Art Museum in New York City, and old irons. This subject is as diverse as human nature. Immigrants brought this to New England, and there's a rich heritage of Tole painting amongst the Pennsylvania Dutch. Here in northern Maine, there is an old Swedish community, and I have seen old Swedish immigrant trunks that have been lavishly painted. This is a Tole painted document box from the early 1800s on eBay for $1,000. This is a widely collected subject. Martha Stewart has written on these, and there is a Society of Decorative Painters and a Decorative Painter magazine with all kinds of back issues available on eBay. This is an art form to be sure, but also something you can see at any craft show. There was a resurgence of interest in such painted items beginning in the 1950s, and old irons were a frequent subject of this time. Let us start with some pictures from J. Raymond. These irons eventually went to the Buck Carson collection and might be up for auction soon. Definitely in the Tole style. This photo shows the bottoms of the 2 previous images. Here is another floral top and 2 more bottoms. Whether you consider these old, here defined as painted up to the early 1900s, or newer, here defined as 1950s or later, is uncertain. Also from Jay's collection is this hat iron and sleeve iron. Good examples such as these, if well done, have a value of, I don't know, tens of dollars. I have seen some that have a patina of age on sale in antique shops for $100 plus, but that is too much for me, and besides, this subject is well outside of my collecting focus. I just bought this at an antique shop in central Maine, in part for this video. This is the Gould hat iron, probably from 1890s, and it has broad, simple strokes in the Tole style. The bottom is not painted, and there is some flaking of some of the paint on the sides that leads me to think that this may have been painted while it was still in use, and thus it does have age of 100 years or more, both paint and iron. Now here is one on eBay. Buy it now for circa $40 plus postage. I have seen some similar painted irons in shops that are consistent and common enough to this that I think someone has been painting a fair number of these fairly recently. Now, does that matter? Depends on your values and tastes. These are collectible whether the paint is older or newer. Certainly, this is an example of the simpler irons painted in the Tole style. Now, here is another painted iron from my collection. This is a New England Butt Company flat iron, Providence, Rhode Island. Again, 1890s plus or minus some. And the paint here, I think, is an oil paint. It's got some layering to it. The roses are very nicely formed. I mean, genuine artistry here. There is no painting on the bottom. There is some lost paint on the back, suggesting that this might have been used as a bookend for some time. I'm not sure, but I think the paint is probably more than 100 years old. Now, this one has bright colors, It was painted on the bottom with some wear on that, and there is some of the paint has chipped off, so this does have some age. Does this go before the 1960s or after the 1960s? I don't know, and that kind of ambiguity is frequently the case for these irons. Here is a stand that I found on eBay. Definitely Tole painted style. The stand is old, but the paint probably not so. One of the connections I have developed with people who watch these videos is Robert Wendland in Michigan. He has a collection of those more modern painted irons and has sent me pictures. Let's take a look. Now, some of these are what I would call raw painted. This is a pair of coal irons, no particular style, but paint and brush happened to be handy and the irons got painted. These are obviously done at the same time by the same person. Here is another pair, just painted. Us collectors see these all the time and generally do not buy them, as we are interested in more of their original histories rather than subsequent histories. Here is a Tole style painted flat iron, but without a lot of artistry. Here is another top in the Tole style, nothing fancy, but the bottom is painted as well. And the artist left initials, MZ, under the bird's tail. So this one is more personalized. Here is another. The painting is not particularly old, on the bottom only, mid to late 20th century I would think, but it is signed. And yet again, a bit more elaborate and signed. Robert tells me that he has about 6 signed pieces. Are these collectible? Obviously they are. Not just by collectors of old irons, but also by those who collect Tole painting in general. So thanks again for spending some time with me. Please thumbs up, subscribe, make your comments. We are now doing some short videos that are less than a minute long to a wider audience, so we are picking up a broader base of people who are interested in the old stuff and want to learn more. Thank you very much.